Hey YouTube, just remember to like and subscribe. See you on the next Pittsburgh Picker. Bye.
What's up, guys? It's the Pittsburgh Picker, and today we are going to give you a moment of clarity in your life. We are going to give you a Zen-like experience after this is over. You are going to have so much knowledge after this video is over that you won't know what to do with it. Well, I hope you know what to do with it, but it'll give you peace. And by peace, I mean you'll be able to make more money when you sell on eBay, because you will have figured out the priority mail system and how all these mailers and boxes that they provide for free can help you in your business. So, so let's get right into that. The first thing I want to go over is the most common of all of these, and these are available anywhere. Every post office I've ever been to has piles of these, and they're everywhere. And they are also the cheapest of all the priority mail. There is a small box, and that's just slightly more expensive than this. But this is the most common and the one most commonly used. Not by us, but it is the most common. It runs you about $7.60, and it will ship anywhere in the country as long as you can cram it in there, and this flap will close. Now, that is the key to this one, is that this flap has to close. You can't almost get there and then tape it down and then ship it. It doesn't work that way. It shouldn't work that way. Now, I'm not saying that people haven't got away with it. I'm sure they have. But the way it's supposed to work is it's supposed to close on its own, and as long as it closes on its own, you're good to go. The reason we don't use this one as much is because the difference between this one and the padded flat rate envelope, which we're going to go over next, is just not... the difference in price is nominal. I think this is $7.61 and this is $8.31. So that's why we really don't use this as much. But we have, and we will again. It's great for, large stacks of paper or bags or something that, something that is relatively thin but has some weight to it. And that's what makes this a usable thing for us. Do we use it a lot? No. We got an order of them of 50, and I think we've used 10 of them out of the 50. It's just not a common one for us. But this one is. This one is the priority mail flat rate padded envelope. And it's basically just a big bubble mailer. I don't know if my camera's picking that up, but it's just a mailer lined in bubble wrap. And we use this, I'd say, maybe once a week. Mostly clothing sales. This is good for jeans. This works great for jeans. Maybe even like a medium small or maybe a large sweatshirt if it's not too bulky can fit in here. There's a lot of things that can fit in here. So we do use this relatively frequently. And like I said, the difference in price from this to this is nominal. So if we have a choice between this and this, we're going to use this because this has like a little bit of protection in it. And the rigidity of this really isn't, much to speak about either. So, just the fact that this is plastic and flexible doesn't really give it much of an edge over this for us. But, so this is the one we use pretty frequently. Again, just like the other one, this has to fold and close on its own. You can't tape it shut and, have it like this and it's going to ship. It doesn't work that way. But it's pretty big, so you can fit a fair amount of stuff in this. And this one is a good one. I brought this out because these are all over the post. At least at my post office has a ton of these. These are not flat rate envelopes. They look like they are because, obviously they're normally with all of these. And I don't know why they put stuff that's not flat rate with all the flat rate stuff. I think it's just because it's priority mail. But it is a pretty big envelope, and people do use these. We don't. And I'll tell you why. It's because this is paper. And if you were to put something into this by itself and then seal it up and ship it, and then it got rained on or something like that, it whatever's inside of this is going to get wet, without a doubt. So, we use poly bags for stuff like that, and it seals the product much better, and protects against any sort of weather or any sort of moisture that the product might come into contact with. However, if you're just starting out and you don't really want to invest a lot of money into shipping supplies, this is a good thing to have, because they are free. So if you do see them, they're worth a pickup for sure. But there are better ways to do it. And if you do put clothing, especially, or something in this box, I'd put it in a plastic baggie or something before you put it into this, just to play it safe, so that if it does get wet, if this got sat on my porch with something in it during a rainy day, there's no doubt in my mind this would get wet, and then whatever's inside of it could get wet too. So just bear in mind when you go pick these up, these aren't a flat rate envelope. They're just regular old priority mail, and they are paper, so they could have some moisture problems. So now we're going to get into the boxes, and the boxes are by far the most useful, as far as I'm concerned. The envelopes are great, but with the envelopes, you're teetering on that edge of first class to priority. Anything under a pound or under, you should be sending first class. There's no reason not to. It's the most inexpensive way to ship something with the USPS. If it's just over a pound, the envelopes come in handy because they are a little cheaper, especially if it's going across the country. It becomes much cheaper, because shipping something from here to California, let's say, without using one of these flat rate envelopes would be much more expensive than using one of these flat rate envelopes. So just something to keep in mind there. So the first box we're going to go over is the one that I use the least of, and that's this large flat rate box. It's useless as far as I'm concerned. We have 3 or 4 of these laying around because there can at times be a product that this would work for. But it's very, very seldom. Most of the time, anything that's going to fit in this box, USPS or FedEx is going to be much cheaper anyways, so, and faster. So that's why we really don't use this box very much. As far as I'm concerned, it's junk. I don't really ever use it. It's a big box, but it's not a tall box. So that makes it even more cumbersome, is that if you have something that's typically things that are this size, I mean, that's a big box. Typically things that are this size are not that wide. So that's where this box really just becomes junk to me, is that you really can't fit much in it. And the stuff that you can fit in it, it'd probably be cheaper to ship it regular priority anyways, unless it's going to Alaska or Hawaii or somewhere really far, then this might come in handy, but that doesn't happen often, so we're getting rid of it. The next box we'll go over is the most commonly used one for most people. It's not for us. We just don't ship things this size very frequently, but we do use it. It's like doing a commercial and the product's upside down. It's the medium flat rate box. This does come in handy. It is pricey, but it's big. The box is huge. It's not tall, but it is long. So you can fit a lot of stuff in this, especially big stuff, like a jacket will fit well in this. Some electronics will fit well in this. Board games do not fit in this. There's another box that board games will fit in, and that falls under the large flat rate box category, and that just becomes very expensive for a board game. So, but these do come in handy for more than just the flat rate price. And we use these the most when we're frankenboxing. And what I mean by frankenboxing is that we take 2 of these and put them together, and then we tape around and kind of seal it around, and that way we're able to ship something tall. You are allowed to do that. Now, are you allowed to charge the medium flat rate? No. Can you use just a regular old priority rate? Yes. So you can't you can't put two of these together, then print out a label for medium flat rate, stick it on here, and expect it to get there. It's not going to work. But you can measure and weigh the box that you made with two of them stuck together, weigh it, and then ship it regular priority. Yes, you can do that. So we do that a lot with these. Just like any other box, it has to fit within this within the size of the box, and it's a pretty good size box. It is useful. It's roughly $13 to ship across the country. We use this a lot when things are going to the West Coast, especially if they're larger things. So that's really what these come in handy for. And I'm looking for, the weight limit on them is 70 pounds. So if you have something really heavy that you can fit in this, they're great, because especially if it's like, handheld dumbbells or something like that, this would be a great box for that, because 70 pounds is an awful lot to put in this box. Is it my favorite? No, but it is very useful. So next thing we're going to get into is really is not a flat rate box, but it is a mailing box that you can order on USPS.com. This is a mailing box, but more importantly, it's a shoebox size mailing box. And for those of you that are into the shoe business on eBay, this is awesome for a number of reasons. Number one, it's the perfect size for 2 shoes. And the other reason is because it's a pretty good size for a lot of other things that you can mail. So didn't really want to go into too much detail on that one, but I did want to make you aware that they do have a shoebox priority mail box, and it's perfect size. I know if you're like me, you want to spend the least amount of money on shipping supplies as possible, and this is a really great size box for a multitude of things, but mostly shoes. So there's that. Okay, so the next thing we're going to get into is the mystery for everybody. And if you've been an eBay seller for a while, or even if you've been in it only for a couple months, you've seen these on the list of priority mailboxes, but they at first they confuse you because you don't know really what they are. But you do notice that some things are cheaper to ship with them, and why can't I use them? And I should probably get some of them. And then if you're like me, you go, well, I don't understand how this system works, so I'm not going to really mess with it till I can figure it out. Well, today's the day. So this is a regional rate box A, and you've heard me talk about these. I haven't really gone into too much depth of them, but these are very useful, and I'll explain why. So rather than the priority mailbox, where if it fits it ships for one low rate, these don't work that way. The way these work is that they separate the United States into regions. So it's done by region, not by state or by city. If it falls in region 1, it's this much money. If it falls in region 2, it's this much money. And if it falls in region 3, it's this much money. And that's just how it works. The other thing about these that is awesome is that whatever you put in this box ships at a 2-pound rate. So, meaning if you put a 5-pound barbell in this box, it ships for 2 pounds. If you put a 10-pound something or other in this box, it ships for 2 pounds. That's what makes this box so cheap. Now, there is a weight limit. Maximum weight is 20 pounds. So you can only go up to 20 pounds in this little guy. But the box is a good size. It's not too big. It's not too little. It's got a pretty good width to it as well. So it is useful, and we do use this a lot. They make 2 versions of this box. They make one that looks like this, and they make one that looks like this. And that one is the most commonly used for us, is the one that the long one. And that's because you can put jeans in it. You can put, pants, jackets, any sort of thing like that you can put in it. And if it's close enough and it falls within our region, it's within $1 of this. Did want to interrupt this explanation of the A to show you guys an example. So you see there's the regional box A and the flat rate padded envelope right there. And if you look over here, the regional box A is $7.84 the flat rate is $7.91. So like in this example, and I'm obviously not going to use it because it's going medium mail, but I did want to show you, there is times where the regional box A is actually cheaper than the padded flat rate envelope. Even the USPS flat rate regular envelope is $7.33. It's not that much more. Here's the regional box A. Here's the regular envelope. So those are great for things like this situation where the regional box is actually probably the better option for certain things because it's a box and it's not just a padded envelope. So just wanted to give you that example. Now back to me rambling about boxes. So if we have something that's maybe a little more breakable that we don't want to really put in this box really comes in handy. And as well as this one, would really come in handy because this box and this box, they're both regional A boxes. So they both ship for the same amount of money. As long as it says regional A on it, it's still going to be the same amount of money, whether it's the long one or the fat one. It's still going to ship for the same amount of money. So that's how these work, and they work really well. You can't use these for listing. You can't, like, when you list something, you can select, medium flat rate box, flat rate envelope, things like that. You cannot select regional A, and I don't know why, but you can't. eBay for some reason doesn't give you that ability. Can you just make up your own price and put it on there knowing the maximum this would cost to ship? Yeah, you can. You can just do a flat shipping of $11 or whatever and then plan on using this box. I don't normally do that. I normally put this price and add $1 to it, or I normally just put this price, and if I want to ship it in this, I'll just ship it in this, because these two normally come out to be very close, unless it's going clear across the country. If it's going across the country, this is going to be a couple dollars more than this, and then at that point you have to decide, whether or not you can pad this well enough, or you want to throw it in this and eat the $1 or $2, which is normally what we do, just because we'd rather the product get there and unbroken than save the $1 or $2 difference that it's going to be. But that's how regional box A's work. There is a regional box B as well, and it's a lot larger. We don't use this as frequently. This is about as big as the large flat rate box. It's actually a little more narrow, and the maximum is only 20 pounds on this guy. But it works the exact same way. The difference between this box and the A is that anything you put in this box becomes a 4-pound rate. So if you put something 8 pounds in here, it's going to ship at the priority mail 4-pound rate, no matter what you do. Always a 4-pound rate. Again, with these, they do the same thing. They make this short fat guy like that, and then they make the long one. The long one, wow. Yeah, this is working out well. Oh, this one's defective. That's good. There we go. No, that's not right. That should not crease there. That should crease there. All right. So this is what the long one looks like. It's big. It's about as big. It's actually slightly bigger than a medium box. Here's the medium box. Here's the medium box for comparison. It is slightly bigger than the medium box, but it is a little bit more pricey some of the time to use this guy. So we don't use it very often at all. Most of the time it's $16, whereas the medium box is $13, and the difference in size is normally a couple inches. Have we used this? Yes. Do we use it frequently? No. Because again, this falls into that category of you're almost at UPS rates at this point. And when you get to that point, UPS is normally cheaper. So with bigger boxes like this, a lot of the times UPS is going to be cheaper anyways. But I did want to point out the B boxes. There is a regional rate C as well. I have very little, if not no use for that whatsoever. So we don't use them at all. And that's it. I hope you're feeling the zen now. You have the clarity that you it to be able to navigate the USPS priority mail system. And I hope this helped you guys. So if you like videos like this, or if you really just want to watch me dig through bins full of junk at Goodwill, then this is the channel for you. Hit that subscribe button now. And if you like this video, give this video a thumbs up. That's great. If you want to comment down below, let me know something that I might have missed or something that you'd like me to cover in another shipping video. I'm more than happy to go over USPS or UPS rates if I use them frequently enough, but I have no problem doing research and doing a video on UPS. I can do that for you guys. If that's what the audience wants, that's what they shall get. Anyways, make sure to like and subscribe. Hit the notification bell. That way you get notified when I do new videos. And we'll catch you next time. Bye.